to lead us right to our next crazy old creep though. So now that we've got the SmackDown review stuff, everybody, don't forget, enjoy the SmackDown review, folks. Let's get into our news for the week. Uh, Speaking of the crazy old creep, because that's what we're doing. Crazy old creep is, well, looking to get into more trouble by the looks of it. You know, and
So a federal investigation was launched
yes,
into the at least the sex trafficking portion of the lawsuit that came out last week. Now, again, before we get into this, this is heavy, sensitive stuff. Listeners' discretion is advised. That being said, yeah, New York Post put out today, I believe it was New York Post, or New York Times, sorry. It was the New York Times that put it out, that a federal investigation had been launched into, this is not good.
Apparently, be interviewing more people this time around too. It's going to get a lot worse before it gets any close to being better.
It's never going to be better.
No, a lot of stuff came out this week too in regards to this stuff as well. An interesting note, before we even get to that stuff too, I just want to point out, even Tori Wilson's not now. She hasn't. No, she was never involved, from what I understand. But Tori Wilson has gone out on record and said, I think it was on the Chris Van Fleet show.
Yeah, she's with Van Vliet. That episode dropped this morning.
Yeah, as she said, and I quote, she was very uncomfortable doing the
mortified was the word she used.
Yes, mortified. Doing the bra and panties matches and the bikinis matches and stuff like that. She pointed out one instance, I think it was with Sable and who was it? It was
probably
Sable,
Dawn Marie,
maybe Dawn Marie or some of those. Yeah, and she was not very happy about it in the slightest. Very. So that kind of shows you that I guess the Attitude Era wasn't really everything that people really wanted. It was more or less what Vince wanted.
But you know what? We've been looking back at it like that for like 10 years now.
Yeah, it was one of those things that was just kind of
where it's like
shit.
It didn't age well whatsoever.
No, it hasn't. It really
hasn't. Most of it's aged like milk.
Yeah, Terry just got sour and shit.
So another kind of ramification coming out of the lawsuit last week is, Brock Lesnar's been dropped from all creative plans in the future.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see, as Corey Meltzer, we're not seeing Brock ever again.
So I play the WWE Supercards mobile game.
Yep.
And because of the allegations, he has been removed from the game. Now, the cards you've collected of Brock Lesnar are still in the game.
Yeah.
But they're not releasing any new Brock Lesnar's. There was a new Brock Lesnar they just dropped like last week.
Yeah. Well, that makes you wonder then about WWE Champions then, because I used to play that game on my on my pad. I wonder if they're going to take away all the Brock stuff.
Honestly, when 2K24 drops in March,
Brock's off it. There's no Brock.
I think Brock's off.
And that's a simple just press delete.
Brock will be no longer in the game.
No, I don't think. I'll basically to what goes on.
We were talking last week about giving the Benoit treatment to Vince.
Oh, they're gonna give the Benoit treatment to fucking Brock.
They're 100%. Giving the Benoit treatment to Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. Now, as we said last week on our report on our show, apparently the Brock thing never really went down. Apparently there was a snowstorm that caused it not to ever happen. Now, that being said, I don't know if it ever did actually happen. That wasn't mentioned. But
it never did. I read the whole thing.
Yeah, so there's going to be the fact that he's linked to this stuff is going to be what's like. He's probably to be honest, he probably did nothing, but because he's linked to this whole thing, it's going to probably solidify the end of his career, and he's going to live out the rest of his days in Saskatchewan.
Yeah. That. Well, the thing is I think there's a lot more validity to this lawsuit after yesterday
Yeah,
because John Laurinaitis' lawyer put out a statement.
yeah. And this is kind of where he's like that. Okay, you say what you say it first, and I'll tell you what I think.
Basically, the way I interpreted the statement is that Laurinaitis is gonna just basically play the victim card here. Which, if he's saying that he's a victim too,
Full of shit.
well, first of all, it's it's the fact that he's not denying that this shit happened.
No.
And the thing is, it's like, I mean, I don't know how long it's gonna take,
It's gonna drag on for a while, a long time.
but I do think that TKO is gonna start cleaning house.
Yeah, I think so. Big Johnny, as they used to call him in the WB, there, it's not the first time he's been under this kind of scrutiny in the first place. He's had a reputation for the past number of years as being a world class piece of shit. Right. The fact that the Bellas even went out and made a statement about this as well, because it involves her family.
Which they were promptly attacked for.
Yeah. Which is kind of, well, I mean, it is their stepfather.
Maria Kanellis put out something on Twitter today.
Yeah, I haven't see. I really been on Twitter most of the day. So, but I know like John Laurinaitis is a world class piece of garbage. Number one.
Most people like, I think you're going to hear more and more over the next few days of people like kind of giving their prominent figures as
we're gonna start hearing a lot more stuff come out
in terms of former talent, in terms of former talent anyway.
Yeah, and to sit there for John Laurinaitis or Johnny Ace, or whatever you want to call him, sit there and say he's a victim. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Well, not just that, but the fact that he's basically gonna
throw Vince completely under the bus.
He's throwing Vince under the bus to save his own ass.
Yeah, and it's you know what, that is a targeted strategy that a lot of people would do in any situation, especially when the guy being charged or any these things is that prominent, massive figure like Vince McMahon is.
And
and frankly,
what makes this even, I used the line to you earlier today. The ramifications of this has more layers than an onion.
And I said ogres.
Yes, because we both like the movie Shrek.
Ogres are like onions. They have layers. It's okay, donkey. It's okay, donkey.
That'll do.
That'll do, donkey. That'll do.
But back to being serious.
Yeah.
So it also came out, I believe this was yesterday.
Yeah.
That all these NDAs that Vince drew up did it without company knowledge.
Yeah.
Also forcibly signed on behalf of the company in these NDAs. This again is not going to end well, and I hope this ends with Vince in jail.
I don't think he'll see prison.
I don't think he'll see prison either.
I think if it gets too much to the point, I think he's either going to have a massive stroke, or I don't see him putting a bullet in his head. But I mean, I wouldn't rule out that possibility though. Just don't. But
Jesus, this took a dark turn.
Well, no, but let's be honest there, right? He's what, 70 something years old. That's a lot of stress put on the body. I wouldn't be surprised if he has a stroke. And someone like Vince McMahon, I don't think he's going to want to go to jail. That's a lot.
Again,
but who knows? Time will tell what happens.
The civil suit is not turning into a full-blown criminal investigation.
Yeah,
Like,
it's, and like I said, Johnny, look, I'm gonna get back to John real quickly here because I'm gonna end it and go on to happy news. Um, you sit there, you say you are a victim, you're a grown man. Your job isn't worth that. I don't give a shit what your job is. It's not worth it. Not for
mhm.
that. You sit there and say you're a victim. You knew damn well what you were doing. You damn well what your ramifications were. You didn't give a fuck.
He's yeah.
Sorry, you
we'll
didn't
just
give a
leave it.
crap.
No, no, no.
But we'll leave it at
leave
that. At the end of the day, you're gonna be judged for who you were as an individual, and that's simple as that. And it would be a court of law
I'll
or
leave it
the
ending it at that.
court. Yep. Hold on, court of law or the eyes of God. Best of luck to you anyway. But the happy news though, because John Cena was on the Logan Paul podcast this week, and boy, that was a good interview. That was a lot of fun.
That was fun. They
Lots of things you learned about John.
They spent most of the interview trying to get John Cena to break, and he didn't break.
No.
They did a really funny bit about showing him a video of someone's driveway getting stolen.
Yep.
That was fun.
Yeah.
And I guess it was also to promote Cena's new show on Paramount Plus or some shit.
Yes.
It's coming out in like February or something.
Yeah.
But a couple of like wrestling tidbits that I did enjoy was the story of the 2005 Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
How basically Cena
screwed up,
admitted to the fact.
Yeah.
He's not that athletic.
No.
And cannot, like, he cannot take a power bomb pretty much.
No.
And that's what caused that.
Mm-hmm. What I thought was interesting too is how John has flat out went out to learn Mandarin to help the company and to help. It was a free course apparently. He just kept on doing it. He's a man just to learn. He has to learn stuff. And that was.
I feel as if though, like, I'm sure John Cena's a cool cat. Okay.
Yeah.
But part of me feels like when I hear this dude interview.
Yeah.
It's like you're talking to a robot.
Fair enough.
And it's like he always has the perfect answer for every question.
Well, I think it's also based on maturity too. Like the one thing I also took out too is that he mentioned about Dwayne. And he gives Dwayne a ton of credit.
Yeah.
And he
calls himself a fucking hypocrite.
He basically flat out calls himself a hypocrite on that on live thing because he said it was very mature of him to call out The Rock for having the right thing because he didn't know what The Rock was going through. He didn't know that he was like in a movie one place and flew over, and now that he knows all that, he calls himself a hypocrite because of that. And to be honest with you, I was never the biggest John Cena guy. As I've gotten older and I've watched John Cena, I see the things that he does and all these things now too. He is just one hell of a good human being. Oh, yeah. There's some people out there who they look like they're good human beings, but they're pieces of crap behind a closed door. John, from what I can gather, isn't that at all. He's just a straight out good human being who married a Canadian girl who barely spends time in Vancouver now all the time. But like, he is just generally a good person who just wants to help people. I mean, look at what he's done with the Make-A-Wish alone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he doesn't have to do a lot of that stuff, but he does.
Yep.
Like, he doesn't have, like, he does a ton of stuff for a lot of people, and he just does it because he wants to do it. He's just generally a good human being. And it's nice to see in a day and age like nowadays where we are at times
about the Vince McMahons of the world.
Yeah, like we're at times right now where we got a multi-billionaire doing dumb shit, coming King Kong doing dumb shit. We're on the verge at times of possibly coming to the world the end because of what's going on in the world and other places. It's nice to see a human being who's just genuine and just is kind to people no matter what, and takes the time to talk to people and stuff like that and have that connection with other people. He reminds me a lot of Jean Beliveau for the Canadians, who you take the time and would write his autograph and very calmly, slowly, not fast, not quick, and have a conversation with people. I've heard stories about Jean Beliveau in the past with the Habs, and I'm not the big Hab fan at all. I can't stand the Habs, but people like that are good human beings, and that sometimes makes trying to be a better person important in life.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Let's end this off with
Where's Okada going? AEW or WWE? Who knows?
the latest in the Kazuchika Okada sweepstakes.
Yeah.
So I guess as sports fans, whenever there's a big name free agent out there or big name prospect, there's a sweepstakes to see which team gets them.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, it seems like the Okada sweepstakes is down to WWE and AEW.
This is like an Otani, Blue Jays, and LA Dodgers thing from a couple months back.
So I think, like, I'm 90% sure he's going to AEW.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure of it
would
too.
I would not be surprised if that's Tony Khan's announcement next week.
Yeah. I mean, he
It
already
could,
got
it
Osprey.
could also, well,
I mean,
Osprey's already
yeah. I
announced.
mean, I said he already got Osprey, so why not go for Okada?
Well, he could be announcing Mercedes Moné
Apparently, there is rumblings about Monet starting in March.
in March. Yes.
So I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. In fact, what day is that? It looks like here, because of Mercedes Day in March, and if I'm correct, I'm not always, but if I am correct, it
No,
would be the 6th of March would be the first Dynamite of March.
yeah.
It's 2 days
Yeah.
after my birthday.
Yeah, I knew your birthday was going to come into play in somewhere in that sentence.
Why not?
Trying to make sure I don't forget it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, nice to just a simple, hey, happy birthday on my birthday, you prick.
Yeah, well, I try. I really do.
Oh, you try. Oh, you also, yeah. You also tries like people like the Lucky Charms. Anyway,
I can't right now.
that's good.
Anyways, it was reported yesterday or Wednesday that Kazuchika Okada has been in talks with WWE over the last couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know if there's any steam in those discussions.
We know there's been rumblings. That's all we know, but it's also been rumblings on both sides of the coin.
Again, 90% sure he's going to AEW.
Yeah, I think that's a lot. I think that's a lot that's based on the New Japan workings with AEW.
It's a safe thing.
I've heard he's also had talks with TNA though too.
Oh, TNA can't afford Okada.
But that would put them on a bigger scale for sure.
Yeah, but TNA can't afford Okada. Now you have to understand, okay? Like most wrestling fans probably don't know who Okada is in North America because casual WWE fans don't pay attention to anything.
Well, the certain ones who are just the tribal people who are just WWE and tribal who are just AEW have no idea.
Us fucking marks that love this shit and decide to talk about it.
I wouldn't call myself a mark. I would just call myself a special human being. But thanks for using that term, mark, by the way.
Yeah. We're both a couple of marks.
Special though. I mean, who else sticks their pencil between their headset like this? Nobody.
No, because it looks fucking stupid.
Yeah, see, special human being. Anyway,
but anyways, What do you think, dude?
I think
Again,
I
I
see
still would
Okada.
love. I would still love to see the Rainmaker presentation with WWE production values.
I think
But
Okada. I think Okada best bet would be WWE. Their schedule's not what it used to be. Number one. Secondly, he can get like a Roman contract. You know what I mean? He
yeah,
probably
but
could.
he's only 36, dude.
I know, but he can get a Roman contract if he wanted to. I think the better place for him would probably be WWE, but I could see him more or less pushing towards AEW just because the whole um foundation with AEW, with New Japan that AEW has. But that being said,
Really?
WWE,
That's the only reason you could think of he would go to AEW?
no, well, I think it's a lot safer. But that being said, WWE though is more and more open to working with other places nowadays.
You completely forget the fact that he's really good friends with the Bucks and Kenny.
I was getting more to stuff. He's
Like
also
literally,
really good friends with Shinsuke Nakamura.
sure,
So
but he
I
has
mean,
more friends in AEW.
to
And
be honest,
that's but that
just because you're friends with people doesn't mean you have to go there too. If that was true, Kevin Owens would have left because he's really good friends with fucking the Bucks too.
yeah, but his best friend is with him in WWE.
Still,
But anyways, but that just seems to be where what most wrestlers do these days. It's like where are my buddies at? I mean, you have like I mean, Will Ospreay, but again, he's going to be working with a bunch of dudes he's already worked.
I think Osprey with WWE with AW is more intriguing.
I think Os-
Whereas Okada WWE sounds a little more interesting though too. I think
I think
Okada with
I
AEW is
think
going to be
Osprey
fun.
will be I think Osprey will be champion before the end of the year.
Well, 100%. I think Osprey will be champion by All Out in London.
All in.
All
But
in.
yeah,
I think Osprey's going to have that title by then, or he's going to win it at the event. I think that's probably what's going to happen. That's probably the best sport. But that being said, that is the news for today, folks. Doug, take us out of here because you got to go to bed.
oh, don't tell me what to do, Daddy.
Hey, put you over my knee. Now tell us what to do.
Well, I'll tell you guys what to do. You can follow us on YouTube, DA Wrestling Podcast, like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you're notified when Andrew is finished editing sometimes these stupid long videos.
Oh, we're going to split this one up, folks, between two videos: a SmackDown review and then our news that we just rambled about.
Uh, you can
At
find
least I will.
you can find the show everywhere except Apple.
Apple don't like us. It's because I'm working.
I honestly, dude, I've been so busy. I just haven't even tried.
I have to be honest. I don't think Apple. Apple doesn't matter enough to me. We're on Spotify. That's what matters.
Fair enough. But the socials, DA Sports Podcast on Instagram, DA Sports Pod on X. He is Apricel1982 on Instagram. He is Andrew at DA Sports on TikTok. You still running TikTok?
I'm still running TikTok. Our last video on the Okada stuff, guys. What we just did talked about or earlier is have done 6,700 views, and we thank
Cool.
you very much for all that, folks. With 295 likes, appreciate it, folks. Keep it coming.
I'm D Lions 1991 on X. We'll catch you down the road.
Arrivederci.